Number two group are parents. For example, high school parents have seen the same thing on repeat for 10 years or more. They know where things went wrong, and you better believe parents know what areas could use some fixing. And for those parents with young elementary kiddos, it's a responsibility as a board to give you an educational future you can look forward to and be proud of.
Well, it's Pistol P, Mr. Loa, Smoking Lonjas in the house. We're coming through YouTube straight into your house, bringing all the gossip and the news, and we're loud. So take back, pop a cold one. The P Street Podcast is on now.
Yo, this is Smokey Lonjas. Welcome to P Street Podcast. Right now we have Jesus Orosco running for school board meeting. Man, first of all, man, I mean, how can I say, I'm that's my cousin, and I just want to start off by saying, hey, man, I'm glad that you're running for school board meeting. And question number one that everybody's asking, why did you want to run for the school board meeting?
Hey, what's up, everybody? First and foremost, how's it going? That question it's get brought up a lot. Why, right? Why this and why that? Well, I felt it was my time. There's been thought about it several years. Now I think it's my time to run. I want to be a voice for our community. Sometimes we have parents that want to go ask questions about their kids at school or athletics or anywhere. And some parents, either don't know English proper or don't understand it. And that sets them back a little bit. Or they think they're getting the runaround. Or they just get told some quick answers to hey, we got it, okay, go ahead. Like you yourself, all ourselves, I see myself from my parents' point of view. I wanted to see why didn't they go to school and speak up or ask the questions. That's the people that I want to be asking questions for. I want to stand up for students, whether on the academic side or anywhere. I want to bring everybody and say, hey, this is what benefits this group and this group all at once. Not, hey, this is what benefits this group and this group. Well, they're on the downside and they can just survive. I want to make it to where, if it benefits one student, it benefits everybody. One staff member, all staff. That's what I want to do. I want to be that bridge that connects the community to the school. Get the community involved. Have parents up there asking questions. The community gets involved, the school's all better for it. Hey, plus one more thing. When you were in 8th grade, 7th grade, didn't I ever tell you guys are our future? Yeah. There you go. Yeah. The future is now.
Yeah. And then if you're watching right now, this is from Pecos, coming out from Pecos, Texas. Again, like I said, he's running for school board meeting here in Pecos, Texas. And here comes more questions, man. We got more questions. And here we go. The other question came from now the new days. You get more days off in Greenwood, Texas, right? So now one of the questions says here, did you hear about Greenwood, right? Schedule changed from 5 days out of the whole week to 4 days. And why? Because, oh, shit. I'm sorry. Did you hear about that? And how will you be able to try to make those changes? Or does it have its pros or have its cons? Like, right now, in my eyes, I saw it as a cons, right? Just because I say, man, I think I need the students to be more in school, right? But then I start saying, like, the pros, yes. It'll give the students to the extra 5th day to catch up. So see, here we go.
And there you go. You kind of answered it itself. A bunch of a school starts. Oh, man, the kids are going back to school. We don't got to deal with them anymore, right? The summer is like, oh, man, it's summertime. We got to deal with the kids. But, yes, I did see where the school board in Greenwood approved a 4-day educational week. I know schools in El Paso. I think Sanelli also has a 4-day week. And it's hours that we, as a school board can get together and see if it benefits your district. And it benefits your district, and what it brings in or where it doesn't. There's a certain amount of hours that you got to meet with the state, just like our work week. We got to meet a 40-hour work week. Now, with Texas, it's the same way. You got to meet certain hours, educational hours. If you can find a way to minimize or say, okay, we're going to add this many time to each day or start earlier in the year, then yes, we can do a 4-day weekend. A 4-day week for educational. just as you working your 40 hours. Do you want to work 8 hours for 5 days, or do you want to work 10 hours for 4 days? Same thing. And also I've seen other schools that they use that 5th day as a tutorials. That way they don't have kids coming in early or staying late after school. They use that 5th day to help bring everybody up, give them tutorials and help them close the gap between everybody else. Once STAR test and all that begins, it'll help the kids. Plus, it'll give them more family time. Sometimes they complain, just work-wise, everybody's working, everybody's got activities. Now you got an extra day to bond with your family, take longer trips or just be around, So it has its pros and cons, and mostly you can learn more through pros, but it just depends how you look at it. But that's things that the school board would get together, talk about, and with the community as well. That's when community comes involved, and that's the gaps you want to bridge to say, hey, we're going to open it to the community. What do you guys think as a community? What do you guys think as a parents? How does it benefit? And then from there, you take off. You find policies and procedures and what works and wouldn't work.
There you go. Are you watching this? Students, there's a catch. There's always a catch for it. There's a catch for it. So if you want to come on that 5th day, well, you just do your homework, man, and stay off your phone.
There you go.
Now, here comes the other question. Oh, my phone keeps locking. How do you eliminate school fights? Or what's your idea if it came to the school board meeting?
Okay, school fights. I don't think you can eliminate school fights. You can probably, try and bring them down. But there's always going to be fights. There's always going to be arguments. And then as a board or as anybody, or your parents, you have to sit down and say, okay, which kids are getting into fights? What group of kids are they? Usually you'll have group kids that get in fights into their own groups or whatever, or athletic kids that fight during athletics. There's bickering, there's a lot of stuff going on. But sit down and say, is this the group of kids that are always fighting? Is it the guys that are not joining any clubs or doing any social activities after school? And then you got to target, okay, these kids aren't doing athletics, they aren't doing band, they aren't doing UIL. What can we get these kids involved in doing? After school activities. I'm pretty sure there's something for everybody to do out there. Whether it be, we can set up at the rec video gaming. A lot of people into video games. Hey, let's have video game tournaments after school for those kids. There's a lot. You can sit down and put your brains together and think, hey, how can we keep these kids from getting into trouble? The ones that are not doing any school activities, because there will always be fights. And that's one thing. Back in our day, I don't know if Lowell remembers, or you remember at Crockett, we had peer mediation. We had peer mediation where our own peers would sit us down and they sit across anybody we had conflicts with. And of course, we were supervised by adults at afar, but our peers were in between us and they say, okay, let's talk about what's the issue? What issue do you have with this person? And right then, you'd be able to talk it out with your own peers, and your own peers would help you get through it. Because at the end of the day, we all grew up in Pecos. Our kids are Pecos. And for as long as you live here, your kids are going to be teammates or classmates until they graduate.
Yeah. They're going to see each other. They're going to see each other. I mean, so now this comes from a teacher. Don't want to say, they don't want to be mentioned, okay? So there's a phone issues at school, okay? And they would like to see how will you take care of it, because I believe the kids are not learning by them allowing them have phones at the school.
Phone usage at school, I'm pretty sure there's a policy in place for phone usage. When smartphones were not a thing when we were around. We had our own Nokia phones or stuff like our own Motorola phones. They serve no purpose except texting or maybe calling once in a while, right?
Playing the snake.
There you go. Yeah. But, I'm sure there's a policy in place. And if you as a parent feel your kid, is falling behind because phone usage, or as teachers say, hey, these kids are always in school. I mean, teachers can always refrain to policy and say, hey, it's our policy that you guys put your phones up during learning process, or otherwise they can get confiscated. And of course, you confiscate those phones, you're going to have the complaints from parents. Hey, I give my kid the phone for a reason, for emergencies. Well, they're in school. If an emergency happens, how did your teachers get a hold of your parents? How did teachers get a hold of your parents? If there was an emergency, they had phones. So there's policies. It has its pros and cons. It's just how the teachers decide to enforce that, and also how their supervisors back them up on those policies. because you can enforce a policy, but how does your superior back you up on that? So it's a little it's ticky-tacky. There's pros and cons, but at the end of the day, the kids are there to learn. You as a staff member, whatever, I was there. You know what, kids? Yes, you can use your phone, but first 45 minutes we're gonna learn. At the last 10 minutes, if you're done, you can use your phone at free will. It's just something that you got to come up within yourself, within policies, and enforce it.
Now, when this question was coming up, right, we had asked the city. A couple just came out and we asked them about this question, right? Now, their idea. This is an idea that I want to ask you. They say we can eliminate those phones, right? But they said that we can eliminate those phones. But will you agree to this idea? What they just told me? Get I guess the school board or the school will have to, I guess, use their fundings to put a type of, I guess, a chip or maybe a watch where, and then they're gonna have to, I guess in their phone, on the computer, they can eliminate the area. So once they cross that means they're already out of bounds, and then alert the school, hey, without using a 360, because they say, oh yeah, well I got my child on 360. That's why I keep track, right? Yeah. But you still have a phone, right? So I'm thinking, do you think that would be like a good idea, like to have the kids to have maybe some tracking device, a watch or something, where once they hit the out of bounds area, boom, it alerts them, hey, you just left the school.
Well, nowadays, and I think I saw Kermit, they have a system in place that alerts them if somebody walks up with a gun. They have a surveillance. We have ISD security and we have ISD cops. And some of them patrol. Now, it is a peace of mind for parents to have the 360 on their kid's phone. It's a peace of mind. That way your kid is there, or where your kid is at. You'll know. How did you parents know when you were skipping? How did your parents know when you were skipping? Roll call. That's going to give you it up. Roll call. If you're not there, school's going to give a call. Like I receive calls sometimes. We check out our kids and they don't get notified. Hey, your kid didn't make the school. Oh, we checked them out. Or you know what? They didn't go because they were sick. So having a chip or something like that is more of a peace of mind for the parent. I'm sure the school does everything they can. That's why now they have, I guess, one entrance and one, when parents go in or out, you got one entrance going in, one entrance coming out. I know they have security making rounds. It's I don't want to say it's not their duty to keep them in there, but there'll be sometimes kids that are going to skip. Some kids are going to leave, but then again, we go back to the parents. The school does so much. It can only do so much, because then you'll be violating any kind of policy if you try and enforce and, hey, you're not going anywhere, you're staying here. Now they will jump to something else. But, those chip deals that you're talking about is more of a peace of mind for parents.
Got it. Hey, parents, don't go cray-cray, man. Don't go cray-cray. Hey, they're trying to help your students. Remember, they're the future, okay?
They're the future.
They're the future, man. So we have...
Hey, look at you. You turned out to be the Peach Street podcast member.
Smoky Lonjas,
There you go.
So, no, but here we go. Yeah, they're your future, man. We want the best for your kids. And if you see a teacher, you see a principal, or they're calling you, it doesn't mean that, they're picking on your kid. No, they're not. Okay, they're just one of the best interests for your children. And here we go. Like I said, he's a runner-up who's going to run this year for school board meeting. And Jesus Orosco, go vote. Like I said, we're voting for Jesus Orozco. But whoever you want to vote, but like I said, they're trying to do for your best for your kids, man. Jesus Orozco here.
Yes, we got early voting starting April 22nd to the 30th, and then we got election day on May the 4th. May the 4th will be election day. People say May the 4th be with you, But parents, any kind of questions, parents, don't feel intimidated or anything. You have questions, go ask. School board is there for a reason. That's why I'm joining. If I join and I get on board with the school board, you come talk to me about any issues. I might not have answers, but I'll guarantee you I'm going to go find out. I'm going to look through our policies and stuff like that, and I'll get you answers. Sometimes they're not the most popular answers or what people don't want to hear, but we got to follow policy for everybody, regardless of who they are, and not give special treatment or anything to anybody else. That's why I said I'm not running with an agenda. I'm not running to help anybody out. But I'm running to help out the community of Pecos because at the end of the day, we are Pecos, man. Our kids will go to school together. We're going to end up seeing each other at school functions, sporting events. We're always going to be around. So by me being here, I wholeheartedly want to do what's best interest for everybody's kid. I'm not looking out for the best interest of my kid. I'm looking out for the best interest of everybody's kids and everybody as a whole. That way, you have any questions, you guys have any questions, you can feel free to go ask questions without saying, if I go speak up, then they're going to retaliate against my kid. Or if I speak up, no. We want to draw away from that to where, hey, this is your school. You come and ask the questions you want to ask, And it's our job to find you answers, whether it's me, another board member, or an administrator. Especially your teachers, because your teachers are the ones that see your kids on the daily.
Okay, now, before we finish this, if people who are watching right now, and I want you to share too. So if people who are watching, if they want to reach out to you, do you have like a social media, an email, anything, a phone number that, for them to reach out if they have any question due to the school board meeting? Because I'm assuming they probably have their own questions that we don't have, right?
Sure. Right now I only have my personal Facebook, which you can find as Jesus Orosco. If you want to send me an email, you can send me an email at jesusjorosco at yahoo.com. And my phone number, just reach to me at private message, and then we can get we'll go from there. But yeah, any questions, any doubts you might have, or any concerns you want to share with me that are going on now at the school. Right now I'm not in there. I don't have questions, but my intentions are to help everybody across the board.
Got it. Now, leave you with Smoky Lonjas in the house.
Jesus Orosco.
And see you later. This is Peach Street Podcast.